Welcome back, welcome back. It's been a long time coming, but the Unforgiving Scruff issue 2 is finally here. Art is being done as we speak by the artist from issue 1. Abelard Alexis is doing his thing. Got some great panels we'll be showing off to you shortly. And now we're putting the video together for the Kickstarter. And I've been getting some questions, from issue 1. People had questions of what they're going to see for issue 2. And I picked out some of them, and I'm going to share some of them with you as we get started for this Kickstarter. I'm looking forward to all of your support again. And hey, if you enjoyed the Scruff comic, hey, each one teach one, man. Please share it. We want to double our contributors. We had a great last year. Just to update you, sold 350 comics of issue 1. I know that's nothing for those comic creators selling thousands a year, but for my first comic, issue 1, 350. I'm feeling very, very good about it. Looking forward to it. I'm going to tell you about some more projects this year because we're definitely putting out more than one comic this year. Right now, it's slated for 3. But let me go into some of the things that I heard that made me feel good. And I appreciate the feedback. Those who read the comic and said, oh, what are we going to learn about this? Or what can we expect in issue 2? Let me share some of them. One thing, people really interested in the transition, the jump from Professor Adam Davis then becoming the vigilante, the Scruff. We definitely saw the catalyst, the trauma which started it, but there's still some more missing pieces, right? So we see what originally started it, and then we see him as the Scruff, and we see him talking things over through flashbacks with his therapist. This is going to be a reoccurring theme throughout the Scruff comics, where a lot of his background is going to be revealed piece by piece. I already have it outlined with his therapist, right? Mental health is very important, as I shared multiple times talking about the Scruff. So we're going to see the Scruff in action in his current form. We're going to see him talking through his therapist, and we're going to learn more and more about the Scruff through his interactions, with talking through his therapist and flashbacks. And you're going to see some more in issue number 2. I'll just give you a quick little hint. We're going to learn more about his family life, right? Professor Adam Davis has a wife, a daughter, a career as a college professor, and we're going to learn a little bit more about that. So we'll learn about the family in issue 2, and then we'll get a little bit more of how it's affecting his life as a professor in issue 3. Matter of fact, that was one of the questions that came up too. Someone said, is he still a professor while doing all the stuff the Scruff does at night? He is. He's still trying to hold down his job and hold down his family, but we're going to see how that wear and tear affects him, and it's not easy by any stretch of imagination. Another thing, someone asks about why the 44 as a name of a gang, right? There's all types of different names for gangs. Why do we go with that? That's going to be revealed a little bit later too. So we will meet the leader of the 44, Mr. P. He is featured heavily in issue 2. So we heard about him in issue 1. Now we'll actually get a chance to meet him and see what he's about. And we'll learn more about Mr. P as the issues of Scruff goes on. And we'll learn about why it's called the 44. I'm going to circle back to that. Last couple of questions here. There was one about just the goal for issue 2. The goal for issue 2, after laying the groundwork for issue 1, and I got a lot of great feedback. I will share that those who shared with me that issue 1 was kind of triggering in some parts. There was a horrific assault in there, and that was part of it. But that was why we had to get back to therapy. And that character, Rachel, I just want people to know that's not a throwaway character. This is not going to be one of them situations where just something happened to a female character that sends a male character on his journey, and then we never hear about the female character again. There is a future for Rachel. We are going to see her featured in the stories and how she deals with the trauma and where her path to redemption looks like. So the goal for issue 2 was really to expand the world. We're going to see Adam Davis, some people he knows in his nightlife, when he goes out at night at a jazz club. We're going to see more with his family. We're going to see him with his wife and with his daughter. We're going to see how he feels about superheroes. There's other superheroes in this world. We'll talk about it. So issue 2, as well as we meet Master P and even another vigilante out there, Lady Savage. So the goal for issue 2 was to really expand the world of the Scruff as we go on to issue 3, 4, 5, and 6. And for those who are talking about why even do another comic, some people thought it was just a one-shot story. This is a six-part series. So I have outlined for six parts. We're going to do the whole story of what's going on with Master P and the whole thing of Scruff trying to deal with him, and Adam Davis's his going through his steps towards overcoming his trauma. So this is going to be a six-part series that will all come together into one graphic novel and one book later. So it's coming. As far as people said, are there other comics coming out in Scruffverse? Well, right now I'm still working full time myself. Speaking of me, as a high school teacher, but there are a bunch of stories outlined, and I will be retiring soon, so I'll be able to get more comics out at a faster pace. But right now, be sure there is other superhero groups going on in the Scruff's world, which I think I'm just going to start calling the Scruffverse. So we will have the Evolved. Our very next comic after Before Scruff 3 is Kiara McBrain, a 12-year-old black girl in the Bronx, super genius, super scientist, very intrigued in animals and nature. And it's going to be something for the general audiences. We know Scruff is for a mature audience, but Kiara McBrain is going to be for all audiences. And it's going to be a great story. It's cute, but it's fun. And this all happens in the same world as the Scruff, right? And eventually she'll meet the Scruff, but not anytime soon. So there's other things. So think of it this way. We have a Captain America comic, we have an Iron Man comic, but then we have the Avengers comic when all together. There's going to be some individual characters that we're featuring in their own comics over the next year. And then there'll be a time when they all come together and you'll see them in their own group. But that's a little bit down the ways, but just to let people know what's coming. And the last thing I'll just talk about now is people often ask, how much is Adam Davis' life similar to mine, to brother Azim DeVoe? There's some similarities, and it's true. I took stories from my own life as I wrote this comic, but I do want to assure you, I am not a vigilante at night. Brother DeVoe, I want all my students to know, and their parents, I'm not going around killing criminals at night, right? So that's not how I choose to deal with things. But this is my 30th year in education, and I got to tell you, you don't teach 30 years in this city in the Bronx without experiencing some type of trauma or working with students who experience trauma. So the idea of trauma and how we deal with it is very personal to me. I've learned the value of mental health. I wish I knew more about it at a younger age. I thought, oh, that's for people who are weak who can't deal with situations. And we just don't think about all the pressures we're under on a daily basis, that it's good to have somebody to talk to.